In a quiet village surrounded by mist-covered mountains, there lived a young man named Aaron who often felt an emptiness he could not explain. The villagers believed that happiness came from wealth, family honor, and social respect. Yet Aaron noticed that even the richest merchants argued at night, and even the most respected elders feared growing old. He would sit beside the river for hours, watching the water flow endlessly forward, wondering why life felt like a constant chase with no true arrival. Deep inside, he sensed that there must be something more than this endless cycle of desire and disappointment. One evening, a traveling monk entered the village. His robe was simple, his bowl nearly empty, yet his face carried a calmness Aaron had never seen before. The monk spoke gently about suffering, not as a curse but as a teacher. He explained that every human heart carries desire, and from desire comes attachment, and from attachment comes pain. Aaron listened carefully. For the first time, someone had given words to the silent confusion within him. The monk did not promise wealth or miracles. He spoke only of awareness, discipline, and understanding the mind. Unable to ignore the pull in his heart, Aaron approached the monk and asked how one could escape suffering. The monk smiled and said, "Escape is not the answer. Understanding is." He told Aaron that the journey toward nirvana was not about running away from the world, but about seeing it clearly, without illusion, without ego, and without craving. He described nirvana as a state beyond anger and greed, beyond fear and pride. A flame extinguished not in darkness, but in peace. That night, Aaron could not sleep. The comfort of his home suddenly felt like a golden cage. By dawn, he had made his decision. He would leave the village and follow the monk into the mountains to learn the path of inner awakening. His family resisted, fearing he was throwing away his future, but Aaron felt that for the first time. He was walking toward something real. The journey was not easy. The mountain paths were steep, the nights were cold, and the silence was louder than the busiest marketplace. The monk gave Aaron simple practices. Observe your breath, watch your thoughts, speak less, listen more. At first, Aaron struggled. His mind wandered constantly, toward memories, regrets, and dreams of comfort. He realized that the true battlefield was not outside in the world, but inside his own mind. As days turned into weeks, Aaron began to notice small changes. He reacted less quickly to discomfort. He observed his anger without immediately acting on it. He saw his desires rise and fall like waves on the river he once sat beside. For the first time, he understood that thoughts were not commands, they were passing clouds. Yet deep within, he sensed that this was only the beginning of the journey. Weeks turned into months as Aaron continued climbing the silent path with the monk. The higher they went, the quieter the world became. There were no village voices, no market noise, no praise or criticism. Only wind brushing against stone and the steady rhythm of breath. In that vast silence, Aaron began to confront something far more powerful than physical hardship: himself. At first, the absence of distraction felt peaceful. But soon, buried emotions rose to the surface. Memories of childhood embarrassment, jealousy toward successful friends, anger toward those who doubted him, all resurfaced with unexpected intensity. Aaron realized that leaving the village had not freed him from suffering. It had only removed the noise that once hid it. The monk observed his struggle and said softly, "When the water is still, you can finally see the mud at the bottom." The monk then began teaching him about the Four Noble Truths. He explained that suffering is part of existence, that desire is the cause of suffering, that freedom from desire ends suffering, and that there is a path leading to that freedom. But these were not just ideas to memorize. They were truths to experience. Aaron started observing how even small cravings, extra food, praise from the monk, comfort during meditation, created subtle restlessness in his heart. Each time he desired something, his peace depended on whether he received it or not. One evening during meditation, Aaron felt overwhelming frustration. His legs ached, his back burned, and his mind refused to stay still. Anger surged within him. He wanted to quit. He opened his eyes and said, "Master, I am failing. My mind is too wild. I cannot control it." The monk smiled gently and replied, "The mind is not meant to be controlled like a chained animal. It is meant to be understood." Those words shifted something inside Aaron. Instead of fighting his thoughts, he began watching them. He saw how anger appeared, stayed briefly, and faded away. He noticed how fear rose from imagination, not reality. He observed how pride emerged when he meditated well, and disappointment came when he did not. Slowly, he understood that emotions were temporary visitors, not permanent residents. Seasons changed in the mountains. Winter brought biting cold that tested his endurance. Spring brought blooming flowers that tempted him with beauty and attachment. Through each season, the monk repeated the same lesson: balance. Neither cling to pleasure nor resist pain. Walk the middle path. Aaron began practicing compassion not only toward others, but toward himself. When he made mistakes, he no longer drowned in guilt. When he succeeded, he no longer inflated with pride. One night, sitting beneath a large Bodhi tree, Aaron felt an unfamiliar stillness. His breath flowed naturally, his thoughts slowed, and a deep awareness filled his being. He realized that peace was not something to achieve in the future. It was something uncovered when craving stopped. In that moment, he experienced a glimpse of freedom. Not dramatic, not explosive, but quiet and profound. Yet the monk reminded him gently, "A glimpse is not the destination. The journey continues." Aaron bowed his head, understanding that enlightenment was not a single event, but a gradual awakening. And somewhere deep inside, he felt that the final step was approaching. Years passed in the mountains, and Aaron was no longer the restless young man who had left his village in search of answers. His movements had become slower, his words fewer, and his presence calmer. Yet the final chains of attachment still lingered quietly within him, the subtle desire to achieve enlightenment itself. The monk sensed this and one morning said, "Even the desire for nirvana is still a desire." Those words struck Aaron deeply. He had let go of comfort, wealth, anger, and pride, but he was still clinging to the idea of becoming enlightened. He realized that he had turned nirvana into a goal, something to possess. And possession in any form created attachment. That evening, he sat alone beneath the same Bodhi tree where he once had his first glimpse of peace. The sky was clear, stars scattered across the darkness like silent witnesses. Aaron closed his eyes and allowed everything to be exactly as it was. The cool air on his skin, the distant sound of wind, the beating of his heart. He stopped trying to improve the moment. He stopped trying to reach somewhere else. For the first time, he let go completely. Thoughts arose, but he did not follow them. Sensations appeared, but he did not resist them. Even the idea of "I am meditating" slowly dissolved. There was only awareness, vast, open, and free. In that profound stillness, something within him released, like a flame gently extinguishing itself. There was no excitement, no dramatic vision, only a deep, unshakable peace beyond words. At dawn, the monk approached and looked into Aaron's eyes. He saw no striving, no fear, no hunger for validation. Only clarity. Aaron bowed, not out of habit, but out of gratitude, for the suffering that taught him, for the path that shaped him, and for the understanding that true freedom comes not from gaining, but from letting go. The journey to nirvana had never been about escaping the world. It had been about seeing it clearly and living without attachment. And in that understanding, Aaron was finally free. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel.